But all right, the Bucks. You talked about Dame, him being boring and blah, 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 whatever. Obviously it's been well documented how poor the Bucks were last year.
Yes.
And they got a coach fired halfway through the season, brought in Doc Rivers.
Yep.
Do you think this Bucks team is any different than the team that we saw last year?
No, I think, and rightfully so, I'll give them some credit here. I don't just want to sit up here and bash teams and tell you how great the Celtics are, even though I do think they're going to repeat.
Yeah.
I think the Bucks played this right. Everything was very helter-skelter, it felt like. You bring in Dame, the expectations are way up here. It's like a roller coaster, Tay. Mm-hmm. Expectations are high, naturally.
Yep.
Oh, man, you have Giannis and Dame together, and to your point earlier, about having two stars who are top 10. I mean, certainly Giannis is there, and Dame once upon a time, you could argue, was as well.
Not all time, but yes.
Well,
top
not all
10
time.
in the NBA.
Current. Let's just go current, right?
Current, right.
Yeah,
yes.
Not all time.
Right.
But I looked at that, and they blame the coach, and they run him out of town, and then Doc comes in, and Doc's trying to figure it out. It just didn't work, at least early. It didn't work. So rightfully so here for the Bucks. No splashy moves in the offseason.
Yeah.
And you just have an offseason together. I mean, let's have some cohesion here. I think that is the offseason. Mm-hmm. And now you come back in. Health was an issue for them as well down the stretch, obviously.
Yeah.
You come back in. Now you're healthy. You've had a full offseason. You know the expectations with Doc. You've had a full offseason with him in training camp and preseason, then the whole nine. Yep. And then you roll the ball out and you play. So I wasn't impressed with the Bucks offseason because, quite frankly, it felt to me they literally did nothing. But at the same time, they needed what they got this offseason, which was cohesion, rest. Let's learn our system. And now I think, Tay, we'll get a true feel for if this is going to work or not. Because year one, Giannis and Dame didn't. That's a fact. Let's see now with a full offseason if it works or not. If it doesn't after this, you got to move on. You have to.
Yeah, I'm with you. Here's where I am with this Bucks team, right? I think that they did a lot of addition by subtraction, right?
Okay.
Here's my thing, right? They got rid of Adrian Griffin. However you felt about him, it is what it is. Yeah. Now having a full offseason of a head coach that's going to rock with them throughout the entire season.
That's right.
Helps.
Yes.
Whether you like Doc Rivers or you don't, that helps.
Of course.
People were really, really upset with Malik Beasley and his output for the team last year.
Yep.
So getting Gary Trent, who is on paper not a better shooter, but he's on par as a shooter. He's a little bit, just I would say more locked in defensively from what I saw from him in Toronto last year and from what I saw from Beasley this past season with the Bucks. Now, historically, I would say that Beasley's been a better defender, but for some reason, there was a lot of clips online of this dude standing straight up and down and letting dudes drive past him.
Wow.
And so, I think having those dudes come in and be here and be ready and locked in, and guys that want to, win at a high level with Rivers obviously being here for a full year and Trent coming in and being ready and locked in after playing on a bad Toronto Raptors team last season.
Right.
He's going to be excited to be on a team that has championship pedigree.
Yep.
So I like that. I like the Taurean Prince ad. I think he's going to be a great player for them this year, this full entire season, because they need a guy who's going to be locked in 3-and-D, and I think he brings a lot of that.
He does.
And, I just hope that we get Dame locked in for a full season.
Yeah.
We know he had to deal with a lot of off-the-court issues last year. He was scared. We've heard he was scared to work out in the summer because he didn't want to get hurt because of the trade was looming and all this other stuff.
Right.
Hopefully he fully got a full summer of working out. We know he sat and watched and was in and out of a lot of games during the playoffs. They lost, whatever. Hopefully he had the opportunity to get healthy, and now they're locked in.
I think that's well said, but I tell you what, Ountae, I'll take it a step further because you're right in what you're saying, but my take is I don't trust Dame to do that. Listen, at this stage of his career, it's clear that it's becoming increasingly hard for him to stay healthy,
yes.
A. B, there are no more excuses now. What you and I just laid out with this Bucks offseason, you like some of the additions. I hear you. It ain't moving the needle for me.
No, I get that.
It ain't moving the needle for me. But with that being said, the pressure is really on Dame now.
Yes.
Giannis has his ring. He is a god in Milwaukee forever, and he should be.
Yeah.
I've been there. Kurds, brats, spotted cow beer. Yeah. That's it. So Giannis should be a god there forever. Mm-hmm. Dame, I mean, all I've heard, and I'm guilty of this. I've made excuse after excuse for years for Dame time. Yeah. Oh, if he wasn't stuck in Portland, he chose that, bro. Like, I can't defend that. He chose that.
He did.
And I tell this story every time, and I'll never stop till I'm blue in the face. This dude had the opportunity at least to flirt with Boston. Yeah. Jason Tatum, we sit here in this town, and we call out Jason Tatum for not standing up for Jaylen Brown during the Team USA drama. Mm-hmm. Jason Tatum was on buildings, on rooftops, screaming at the top of his lungs, Dame, we want you here, man. Come eat lobster rolls. Chill in Boston. And Dame poo-pooed the idea of coming to Boston. Remember that?
Yeah, he did.
I remember. So, look, man. Hey, bro, you're running out of excuses, man. If you can't stay healthy this year and you can't win a couple playoff series and go on a deep playoff run, something you've never done,
yeah,
and this team, this franchise traded for you to get the job done, hey, sorry. And that affects Dame's legacy. That's what I think's on the line this season for the Bucks. I really do.
I agree, but I remember when this pairing first came together, and I even went to a game. I went to a preseason.
Oh, you
game
did?
Back in LA with my mom.
Wow.
The first game that Dame and Giannis ever played together.
That's cool.
Honestly. So,
yeah.
That was cool for me to see. I was excited for that team to be together.
Me too.
Do you think this pairing can work after watching it for a year?
Okay. I don't want to be corny and not answer, but I kind of have a follow-up before I answer.
Yes.
Let's define work.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you? Win a championship?
No, I just mean like.
What do you mean work? But that's why. But seriously, Tay,
no. I agree. Like we have to define it, and right? I'm not putting champion. I think championship aspirations should be on this team, right?
Me too.
I think that's what they should be talking about within the room.
Yes.
I currently don't see them as a championship roster.
Okay.
And I'll get into why I don't see them that way.
Okay.
But I will say, seeing this work means like. We have to believe that this team has a chance.
Sure.
Last year, going into the playoffs, we were like the Bucks.
Yeah,
they don't have a chance.
Right.
I want to believe. Like I don't know if how the matchups work. Right. They might not get to the Eastern Conference Final because they might run into the Celtics before that. Right.
Sure.
But if they don't, I want to see them as a team that gets to the Eastern Conference Finals and matches up with the Celtics. Do you believe that this team can do that?
Okay. You defined it.
This pairing.
I will say yes. I still. And you know why? It's kind of everything you said earlier. Mm-hmm. And I know we're not talking all the time, but just current. These are two superstars in the league. They just are. Now you need Dame. I have more faith that Giannis bounces back from injury. I know he's been nicked up, but I have more faith in him. He's not even human. Like I'm pretty sure he's some sort of droid or something. Right. But, like Dame. If Dame's able, and I know it's a big if, right? Mm-hmm. This is what Bucks fans are saying. But if he's able to stay healthy, and he can be healthy going into the postseason,
yes.
To a lesser extent, he's not a Porzingis, but like if we all say the same thing, if you could keep him healthy in the regular season and go in the postseason with him healthy, that's how I feel about Dame. If you can somehow, I don't know how you do it because they're not that deep of a team. They're not that talented of a team.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of pitch count, minutes restriction he's on. But if somehow, some way, you can get to the finish line with Dame healthy and Giannis healthy, I don't see how you can count that team out. I don't like them against the Celtics in a 7-game series. Mm-hmm. But if you told me healthy Giannis, healthy Dame beat the Sixers, healthy Giannis, healthy Dame knock off the Knicks, I can buy it. I can.
Yeah.
If you tell me that they're what they were last year and both guys are banged up, it's going to be the same result. I'll tell you what, bro. I'd put them, what were they, 3rd seed last year? And they had some
around there.
I see them in the same spot, bro, 3 or 4. If they're behind the Knicks, maybe behind the Sixers, they could be a 3 or 4 seed.
Yeah. So this is what I'll say about this team and why I believe that they're not a championship roster.
Okay.
My thing is I feel like Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton are beyond their prime. I mean, Brooks 36. I don't know how old Chris is, but he looks old. He can't stay healthy.
No, they're old.
You know,
they're washed.
He doesn't have the same burst. I just think that those two guys are going to hold them back. Am I excited about the other guys? Dame, Giannis, Gary Trent, Taurean Prince, Bobby Portis, Pat Connaughton, because people get mad when I don't mention all of the players that, you know, play for the team and everything like that.
How dare you?
You know, I know all the players that play for the Bucks. Am I excited for a lot of these guys? Yeah, but I'm nervous about how much they rely on those two specifically, and what I saw from them last year, and it looks like regression. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it looks like regression.
It does.
And we'll have to see, because once again, there was a lot of like, we don't know. We don't always have Giannis. He was hurt a lot. We don't always have Dame. He's hurt. We don't have Chris. He's hurt. You know, there was a lot of like things moving around. So it's hard for guys like that who are really, really high level role players. To really find their niche. But man, I'm not excited about this. One last thing I want to ask you about on this team. I don't want to ask about bets because who cares?
Why not? I got one. Giannis MVP 7-1.
Hey, okay. I mean, I'm cool with that.
I mean, that's a nice bet.
I want to ask you this real quick because we have to know. Is Doc Rivers the right fit for this team?
No, I'm not a Doc. Listen, bro, I'm not a Doc guy. I actually thought when they hired Doc, it was a mistake.
Yeah.
But let it play out. Let it play out. I to give Doc, I guess, some grace here. I'm not sure anyone who can coach this team. It's just, you just said it's a 2-horse race.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of dudes. I think Middleton's washed. I think you're right. I think Lopez. I mean, these are old guys that are breaking down physically. So you're putting all your eggs in Dame and Giannis's basket. Good luck with that. And look, I don't know if Doc or anyone could do that.
Yes.
I don't. At this stage of their careers.
I'm kind of with you. You know, I just think this team is going to come to a place. I foresee them as a team that can meet up with the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Me too.
We'll see. I think it's going to get to that point that Doc always gets to, and he's not going to be able to get the team over the hump, which he's been doing since he won that championship here in Boston.
We're going to talk about another team in this bubble, but I have the Bucks, the Knicks, who we're about to get to.
Yes.
I will put the 76ers in there.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't know. I'm not there with the Cavs because I'm out on Donovan. After last season, I'm completely out on Donovan Mitchell.
Yes.
I love the Magic. I don't know if they're quite there yet.
Yes.
That might be my bubble. I mean, honestly, Knicks, Sixers, and Bucks might be it in the East that I actually think have a chance to knock off Boston. Are you with me there, or would you add one more team?
No, I'm right there with you. Those are the teams that I have marked out. I know Cavs fans and Pacers fans are going to be upset at me.
And I like the Pacers too, but I'm
right there with you.